seen a lot of troubled times recently, and with so much unrest in this country, we try to focus as much as possible here at 6:30 on things that are being done to help, whether it's through a nonprofit, helplines, causes. There is plenty of good happening amongst the bad. It is a matter of perspective. And a Rochester man who has spent years, decades, building community bridges and relationships, he's on a new mission. Wendell Amstutz and a group of community leaders are working for positive change through our current difficulties. It's called Leading Through Listening, and they're bringing together various business and community members, all with one goal, and that is to have respectful dialogue aimed at positive outcomes.
First tool you need to know about being an effective listener is you got to want to listen. Listening means actively seeking to understand. It doesn't mean waiting for your turn to talk. People out there that are intellectually lazy. They hear something and I have 4 degrees, I spend a lot of time in classrooms and stuff, but every one I had to take a research class. Not because I was going to be a researcher, but because I needed to know what good and bad and valid and invalid research was. And there's a lot of information out there, maybe too much, maybe not enough, I don't know, but do you say, how come? I had a conversation with a lady the other day with a mental health issue, and she said, my relatives think that's just fake. They just think it's a way of getting out of things like this. And I can show you brain photos with neurotransmitters that are out of balance and all kinds of things. I said, but based on what? So when somebody says, well, you should, challenge that. Say, based on what? Where'd you learn that? Where'd you get that information? And check it out. And the people that have challenged me the most in my life is people that didn't just take what I said, but they challenged you and said, how come? Why? Because, how do you check it out? And there's ways to do that fairly easily if you take the time and do it, and not just take one word, one sentence, one whatever, and run with it.
You're involved in organizations that and your work that is controversial in nature. You deal with people who have addiction issues. When people think differently than you, here's a how question. How do you have a dialogue with them when there isn't a respect for what you have to say?
And that's the big challenge nowadays. It's not right or wrong, good or bad. It's right or evil. And when you define something as evil, then all bets are off and everything is considered okay. And first of all, we need to get away from that evil thing. You and I, regardless of what some of our beliefs are, and I know some are the same, some may be different, what's the common ground we have? What is it we do agree on? And that's something my friend Wendell has been awesomely with in the past. What do we agree on? Where can we go from there? Let's have a starting point. And then we'll see where these other things shelter out. Nobody gets up in the morning and says, I want to destroy civilization. Well, maybe there's some, but not very often. But they look at things differently, and we're wired differently. We have different personalities. As a mental health professional, I see that with people all the time. And so how do we bring that together? That's what a team is. Tom Brady didn't do anything in the offensive line in the Super Bowl, but it's a good thing he had that. And that's the difference, we think, in our society. If we get anything out of here, it's that seeking to understand. And I hope that picks up, because right now, a whole lot of people out there all over the landscape that are seeking to get their turn to talk and really don't want to hear about your turn to talk. And so if we can, with this effort, come up with understanding, which will create connection, and if we connection, we see we're more alike than we are different. And that would be something that would be really cool, because right now there's problems that span all race, creed, color, political parties, and all that other stuff. And we just need to understand how we're going to do something about it collectively. And then we're going to see really powerful things happen.